The first thing you will do today is go to the scratch.mit.edu website. Once you are here, you can hit the Create button in the upper left menu to begin a new project. Once inside of the program, you will want to familiarize yourself with the layout of Scratch. The format of Scratch is much like a theater. You have a stage where your sprite or character acts out the code in your program. You can begin your program by clicking the green flag button and stop your program by hitting the red stop sign button. First, you will want to rename your project, so go up to Untitled and rename your project something of your choice. As you can see, Scratch the Cat is a default sprite or character that you can begin to program in Scratch. Should you want to delete Scratch the Cat and create your own character or sprite, you can come down to the Sprites menu and right-click on Scratch the Cat. From there, you would select Delete if you wanted to delete this sprite. To create your own sprite, you can select a sprite by going down to Choose a Sprite from Library and then navigating to a sprite or a character of your choice. For example, I will select Abby and hit OK as the sprite character of my choice. While we are on the topic of sprites, you can also create your own custom sprite using an image from the internet or one that you have saved on your computer by selecting Upload Sprite from File. When I wrote the example program, I created my own hummingbird sprite by finding a hummingbird image from the internet and saving it into a file that I could remember. I then uploaded my sprite image from the file into the sprite editor and removed the background using the eraser tool. Another option is to custom draw your own sprite character by selecting it in the Paint a New Sprite icon. From here, in the Sprite Editor menu, you can draw any custom sprite that you wish. You can also grow and shrink the size of your sprite by using the shrink icon, which shows 4 arrows pointing inward, or using the grow icon, which shows 4 arrows facing outward. You can use the grow and shrink sprite tools by simply clicking on the sprite that you want to resize. Anytime you want your sprite to do something on the stage, you must select the sprite that you wish to program from the Sprite menu. Then you must go up to the Scripts menu. Scripts are the code that tells the sprites what to do in Scratch. So to begin coding our sprite Abby, we will first select the Events menu to tell the sprite our program is going to begin. Then drag the When Green Flag Clicked block. This will tell our sprite Abby to do something when the program starts. Inside the Scripts menu, you have the options to write code for different ways to move your sprite using the Motions menu. Let's experiment with making our sprite Abby move by going to the Motions menu and dragging over the Move 10 Steps block to the Scripts area. Now our code says that when we click the green arrow, Abby will move 10 steps. Let's run the code to see how it works by clicking on the green flag. You can edit the amount of steps that you want your sprite to take by double-clicking the number in the blue motion block and changing the number to any number that you want. For example, making it say 25 steps instead of 10. Another movement function I used a lot when coding my program is making my sprite glide to a specific location on the stage. You can do this by dragging the sprite to the exact location that you want it to move to and then navigating to the Motion Scripts menu. From here, you can select the Go To or Glide motion blocks and then drag them into the Scripts area to get your sprite to glide. If you want there to be time in between your sprite's motions, you can add in wait blocks by navigating to the yellow Control menu and dragging over a wait 1 second block into the scripts area. You can modify the length of seconds that you want your sprite to wait before doing the next action in your scripts or code. For example, if you want Abby to wait 2 seconds before she glides again, you could insert a wait block into your code to tell the sprite to wait 2 seconds and insert a motion glide block to do so. There are so many fun ways to experiment with the Motions menu, moving your sprite around the stage, so I highly encourage you to stop this video now and experiment before moving on. Next, we will talk about how to use some of the look scripts to change the way our sprite looks and behaves on the stage. By selecting the purple Looks menu in the scripts, you can notice there are several options here. One of the most important looks to know how to use is the Say block. By selecting the Say for 2 seconds block and dragging it into the scripts, you can get your character or sprite to speak. You can customize what you want your sprite to say by double-clicking Hello, deleting it, and writing whatever you want your sprite to say. For example, if I want Abby to say, "Hi, my name is Abby," I could write that in the Say block to tell my code to make the sprite say this. Also, notice how you can modify how long you want your sprite to say that particular script. If you need to write a longer message, then perhaps the longer time to say that message would be a more appropriate timing choice. You can use the Think Looks block in the same way that you might use the Say Look block, but it will show up on the stage as a thought bubble next to your sprite. For example, let's make Abby think, I wonder what cool things I will learn today. Another cool looks feature is to experiment with making your sprite show or be present on the stage and hide or disappear. You can do this by inserting the purple Show and Hide look blocks to make your sprite appear and disappear as needed. I used the Show and Hide blocks in my program to code my hummingbird sprite to only show up at specific times during my story. You can experiment with these Show and Hide blocks as needed. Also, feel free to see inside the code on my Plant and Animal Adaptations program to see how I use the Show and Hide blocks. So I hoped you learned some fun ways to get started with coding your sprites to move and say different things in your scripts today. I encourage you to watch this video as many times as needed as you experiment and get used to the first steps in coding your program.